Hey guys, it's Dalton Young from 1331 Studios here, and I'm gonna make a video about the new Kingdom Hearts trailer. I know it's been a while since I uploaded, but I figured I owed you this one. So there's all kinds of things that we can discuss in the new trailer, like the various mechanics and stuff, and I would like to stay strictly towards the mechanics, but I also wanted to point out this trailer does jump around a lot. Between the various costume changes that Sora undergoes, and how his combos are very similar to the ones he executes at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2. And because of this, it's kind of hard to peg down like the chronology of what's going on, but I'll try my best to figure it out. Now, in order to do this breakdown justice, I'm going to play the trailer and pause it at points and point out things that I've noticed after watching this trailer a bajillion and 15 frickin' times. And I'm going to do my best to explain what I think is going to be happening mechanically in the game, and maybe some plot things, but I kind of want to make another video dedicated to that. So, we'll get there. Also, before I start the breakdown, I kind of want to give some context to what's going on, so that way when I make theories later on in the breakdown, it makes more sense. So, I'm going to ask a question here. Why is Sora at Mount Olympus to begin with? And honestly, the easiest way to explain it is to let Master Yensid do it himself.
Chance of stopping the Xehanort's plan still lies with you, Sora. If you trust the guidance your heart gives, I know we will find all of the Guardians of Light. But first, you must regain all the strength you have lost. Perhaps it is foolish to expect a complete recovery, but it is absolutely vital you perfect one power, the power of waking, which you failed to master during your exam. There's someone who lost his strength and found it again. A true hero to whom you ought to pay a visit. Perhaps he can point you in the right direction.
Got it. All right. Olympus Coliseum, here we come.
So now we know that Sora is going to Mount Olympus to get back his power, we can make more sense of what the frick is going on in the trailer. But enough with the screwing around, let's just get to the trailer breakdown, because I know that's what you've been waiting for. So we start the video in a very Kingdom Hearts fashion with a bunch of cryptic text and a quote that's kind of cool, I guess, and related to the game. I'll assume that the quote relates directly to the dive system within Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, meaning that they're probably pulling cues from that game to implement into this game, which I hope. There were some parts of Dream Drop Distance that were pretty cool. And it also could mean the total removal of the old school load and save checkpoint system. Now, this opening combat segment has a lot going on, so I'm going to let it play out and then I'm going to rewind and go point by what I think is important. Okay, I think that's enough. Let's wind it back from here, and we'll start at the very beginning of the dropping in. So the first two major notable points here are 1, you go directly into combat right from the dive, and 2, right now Sora currently is using his Kingdom Key. Yet, in the next clip he can be seen using what I can only assume is the Olympia-specific Keyblade because of its design and its later transformation. That's kind of what I've put together, but I'm not 100% sure. It's also the first time in a while we get to see a new Keyblade transformation. We haven't seen one since the trailers a while ago, and from what I can tell, the Keyblade transformations are specific to the keys that you collect in the worlds. So, for each key, we get a new combo, which allows you to implement a different strategy based on each key, which is always cool for me. Enhancing the combat, that's fun. In the bottom left corner, you'll notice that there's some sort of finish gauge being built up. Now, I'll talk about this a little bit more as we go, but we should probably talk about Shot Lock next. Not only does he have Shot Lock, but there seems to be more than one option within the Shot Lock menu itself. Unleash, and I can't really read what the other one is. Either way, it seems like we're getting some cool upgrades in this game. You can also be seen doing the moves that Limit Form used in Kingdom Hearts 2 and that Kingdom Hearts 1 used as abilities. So this next part is really the only part of the video that I question whether it's in-game engine or it's pre-rendered, and I'll explain why. So at the beginning of the combo move that Sora and Goofy perform, you'll notice that the command deck disappears, and there's no way to tell how it's performed. There also doesn't seem to be any effect to the focus or MP gauge. And also, all party members seem to be on the field at one time. You can see Donald and Hercules in the same shot. Now with that in-game rendering skepticism aside, the next little bit portion is probably story-based, I'd assume. It has to do with black boxes, and there are various theories I could go into about this, but I'm not really going to. I'll make a totally separate video, hopefully, if there's interest in this one, about the lore and about different aspects of what could possibly be going on in Kingdom Hearts 3, but I'd rather touch more on mechanics, so let's just take note that they're looking for black boxes. Other than that, I don't really have much to say about this. Here, I'd like you to take note of the fact that this is probably the first part of the visit that Sora makes to Mount Olympus. You can tell this by the fact that he's using the original Kingdom Key and he's wearing his old clothes. The next section gives us a good example of magic. You can tell by looking at the command deck that Sora has access to all the magic he did at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, and on top of that, it seems like Fireza seems to be building up. I don't really know what that means, and you can tell that the UI seems to be kind of working because the MP did take a small hit when he used magic. It's cool to see that magic got an upgrade, and it looks cool. And another notable thing is look at all of the different spells that get upgraded and built up over time as they get used. I'm assuming, again, assumptions here. So this next segment is a good time to explain or try to break down what the heck the second form system is, as it does a bunch of changes here that I'd like to point out. And not only that, it seems like it changes his clothes back to his original color scheme. So let's try to break this down as best as we can. So, the second form system is something I'm really interested in, and it's because it's similar to another system we've seen before, but I'll get into that. Either way, there are two different types of second forms from what I can tell. There's the blue one. So the first level of the second form system, I assume, is the blue one. Only because his clothes are still KH3, the ones that they've shown off the design for a bunch of times. And the second form, the gold one, I think is level 2 because his colors go back to being like his old school colors, the black and the red. And it also allows him to do the things he did within Limit form. Now this system is very similar to the system that Birth by Sleep used, where you would use various attacks to build up a command bar, and based on the attacks that you did, it would change whatever the command turned into. So with the implementation of systems from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep and Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, Tetsuya Nomura really is delivering on the fact that he said he made those games because he wanted to practice design. And it's cool to see that he really did implement what he said. Nothing too cool to talk about here, just that flow motion makes its way back into the game, and if you don't know what flow motion is, it's this blue little trail, and it's a thing that was created in Dream Drop Distance. It was okay, but it was a weird system, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. So this next part, I'm going to break it down and go slow. So we'll watch it, and we'll just kind of watch Sora be cool, and then I'll rewind it, and then we'll play it slow, and then we'll go over what's going on. So I'm assuming this whole segment is just to show off what a boss battle would be like, and as you can tell, Sora sort of gravitated towards the wall, so I'm assuming that what happens is the Titan will knock you off, you'll be able to do various commands and stuff, and climb back up to the top. We can also see that Sora does take HP damage, showing that the UI is also working during this fight. Now, I don't want to talk about this next scene too much because, again, it goes more into story and lore than I would like to talk about in this video, but it is important to point out that yes, both Ansem and Xemnas are back, and they're talking about bringing Roxas back. And not only that, they're also talking about Sora and Darkness, which could be a whole new conversation to have in Kingdom Hearts, considering Sora is considered the light. So I think it's a cool scene to throw in there. So that's what I see when I watch this trailer, but there is one more thing that I'd like to take a second and point out, and it's a really small thing, but it's just that I think they sort of feature one of the other transformations right at the very end of the trailer, and that'd be kind of cool if they did, considering, you know, it's just a little like, oh, here's an extra little piece right before the next little piece is announced. I said there would be a big announcement or a special reveal, and I wasn't sure how to go about doing this, so I'll just, you know, just cut directly to it and say, boom. I believe Kingdom Hearts 3 has a time skip, and the reason I believe this is because if you look at the first portrait of Sora and compare it to the second portrait of Sora, you'll notice that it's more than just a clothing change. There's a little bit of a haircut difference, and on top of that, his facial expression is slightly matured, you know what I mean. He looks older, seems older, feels older. So my question is, how long has passed, and what has changed for Sora? Is his mental attitude still the same, wanting to save his friends, save the universe, save the world, or has he started to come in touch with his darkness, and is that going to be a whole plot point throughout Kingdom Hearts? But either way, thanks for watching, and here's a brief summary of what we've all went over in this video, and if you have anything you want to add it in the comments, because honestly, I just like talking about Kingdom Hearts and trying to figure out what this game is going to be about, because, well, let's be honest here, it's not going to be out for a while.